think I'm a little early, so I will wait till everybody begins to gather. I'm probably the only person right now who has builders next door, so that might be a little challenge. If it gets too noisy, I'm sorry. I have no idea how to look at your comments while I'm doing this video, so please bear with me. I can see they're in the bottom corner, but I haven't got my glasses on right now. Okay, let's put my glasses on and I can see that. Okay. Oh, I've got people watching. Hello, people. All right, so I'm still going to wait until people gather a little bit and tell you a little bit about why this is important to me, actually. So, I'm a connection specialist. I'm a massage therapist. I'm an MFR therapist. I've been training for years now in America. So I don't know about the rest of you, but this time for me, connection is missing. Zoom calls, video calls, don't quite cut it for me. It's better than nothing, but it's not what I'm needing right now. So my feeling is that connection is more important than ever, and I can help people connect to themselves. That's my job, because I've been teaching massage for 25 years, I think it is now. So at this time I want to help you and help myself at the same time, if I'm honest, to center through touch, to get connected through touch, to find some space for ourselves right now, to do some things, because whenever we get in touch with ourselves, with our connection to ourselves, with our senses, then it gives us a chance to be more mindful, and that can transform everything. So I'm hoping that there are a few of you now, and if not, I think this goes live, so it goes as a recording, so people will be able to see it later. So I'm going to begin with you with a few just simple stretches. Now, you might not just be able to see both my arms here, but this is something that occurred to me at 3:30 in the morning. I get my best ideas at 3:30. So what I want you to do is stretch out your arms so you can see me one side, but I've actually got both sides stretched out. And it occurred to me it's a little bit like Spider-Man, this stretch, this technique. So what I want you to imagine is that actually you are focused on the lengthening of this area here on both arms, as if you're shooting out those threads from your hands like Spider-Man does. So I want you to come out with both your hands and literally just allow yourself not to stretch, come back from a stretch, but just allow yourself to lengthen from there. And you might want to shut your eyes while you do this. Shut your eyes while you do this, because it allows you to go inward. You can get more in touch with yourself if you shut your eyes. You can open them again in a minute. But while we're doing this, let's get really present with what's going on. I mean, for me, I can feel the tension in my arms, so I'm going to let that go a little bit and let my arms drop a little bit. So try that. And if you find that your head wants to move to one side, or you want to stretch out a little bit more, then do that. Just do whatever feels good for you. So for you, if you've just joined us, this is my new technique. It's called Spider-Man. Okay. So it just feels good, and just to feel good, bring back your arms and just notice how they feel. Maybe you've just woken them up a little bit. The next technique I would like you to try, I'm going to come more centrally so you can see me. Just bring your hands together, and then you're going to bring them in front of your body here. See if you can drop your shoulders and allow your hands to press together as they do, gently. just see if they'll drop a little bit more. Now this takes time. I'm going to go through these things very quickly. But if I was doing this on my own, I might spend 5 minutes or more literally just paying attention to this technique. So as you do this, just allow your shoulders to drop even more. It's not a competition, it's awareness. It's about getting really aware of what's going on in your body. See if you can soften anywhere else. And just notice if your hands want to sink even further. Mine are. I don't know whether you can see that, but just bit by bit, the tension's letting go in my arms and letting that soften even more. Okay, now again, if you're doing this on your own, do it for a lot longer so that you really get the benefit of that. The other way to do that is the other way around. So this time, you're going to put your hands together in this way, and what you'll find is very, very gently, very slowly, your arms will probably go the other way. So your elbows are just coming further down as they drop. So you're just letting them drop. You're not forcing anything. Never force anything. Too many injuries that way. Okay. I'm going to shorten this so I give you a few things all at once, but when you do it on your own, do it for a lot longer, and just let your whole body relax into that. Another thing for you, if you have problems with your fingers, I don't know whether you're doing a lot of typing. I seem to be spending a lot of time on my computer right now, way more than I normally would. So this is for your fingers, particularly as you get older as well. Sometimes your joints get really stiff. So you're going to do this with each of your fingers. It's actually a myofascial technique. It's one that I learned in America. So what you're going to do is you take hold of your finger just above the knuckle. You'll see it there. And what you want to do is just gently compress. Compress means to press inwards. Don't mean to treat you like you're an idiot, I'm just checking that you know my language. So just press towards the joint very gently, and then what you're going to do is test. You're going to twist. I'm going to show you here. You're going to twist one way and you're going to twist the other gently, just to see which way moves more easily. When you've worked that out, so for me, it's actually rotating it away from me, okay? When you've worked that out, whichever was the easiest position, you're going to stay in that position with a very slight pressure. Again, you're going to do this for a lot longer if you were doing this on your own. But it doesn't make for great watching if I'd spend too long on this with you. When you've spent probably about 5 minutes doing this, you're going to stop, gently come back to neutral, and then you're going to twist it the other way that was difficult to start with. Find that, what we call the barrier. So find where it just naturally stops, and don't go beyond that. Don't try too hard. When you're in that twisted position, just see if you can pull it away from the joint a little bit this time. And then you're actually going to stay in that position for 5 minutes or more. I promise you, if you do that technique on each of your fingers, your thumb, it really helps the health of your joints. Okay, it's really very, very good. I've managed to really clear some horrible arthritis in one of my fingers that I had. It was very painful. So it's a very gentle technique, nothing that's going to be too invasive for you. And if it begins to hurt too much, then ease off, okay? Okay, now we get to the massage. I have no idea how long I've taken so far. So I have, that's why I'm looking over here, I have a selection of lovely creams, okay? And I am absolutely sure that you have something in your cupboard that will work for you. It doesn't have to be hand cream. It can be face cream or oil. If you have nothing, no creams, then pick up an oil, something. So today, I'm going to choose this one. Why not? This was a Christmas present. Okay, so you need to put about a 10p piece worth of cream or oil in the palm of your hand. Now, what we want to do is get really, really present with the sensation of touch while we do this. So when you bring your hands together, let's stay there for a moment and really pay attention to what you're feeling here. So for me right now, because the cream is in the center of my palm, I'm really aware of the temperature of that and the difference between the temperature in the rest of my hands. So just, this is the getting present. This is the mindfulness, okay? And when you do anything during your day in this way, it really helps to reset you. So now, rather than waste your time, I'm going to get you to spread this in whatever way you do it. But here's the clue. You have to do it in a very caring way, all right? So imagine you were doing this for your best friend, for your mum, for your partner, for your child, somebody you really, really care about, okay? So what we're doing at this point is we're just spreading the cream, if you've just joined. So just spreading this cream so that it's even all over. Now, let's pay attention to that as well. So what I'm noticing now is wherever I've put this cream, my hands, my arms particularly, have just woken up to that, right? And I've actually now got a beautiful smell coming up from that. It's really pleasant. Okay. So let's go on. So now you've spread that. There's lots of ways to do draining strokes, which are really quite pleasant. So anything you do that encompasses your whole hand and squeezes down to your elbow, and that feels good. So we often start with things like this. So can you see I'm using my hand, I'm using it to just evenly squeeze towards the elbow, which feels good. If you need to add more cream, please do. And then I'm going to come in a little bit more specifically to my hand. So areas you might want to focus on. This area here tends to get quite sore. This area here, and actually, well, let's do everything, okay? So what you're going to want to do is use your fingertips or your thumb, and use your thumb or your fingertips in those areas, those fleshy areas of your hand. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing and then allowing that to glide away from me. Be very careful with your thumb, otherwise you're going to need to treat it again afterwards. But so don't overdo any of these pressures, because that's where you can hurt yourself. And then I'm going to go into this area here. So my hand's pointing away from you right now. I hope that's okay, but let me show you. I'm just using my thumb pressure to go into that area there. And I'm going to go into the palm of my hand. And I want to spread that outwards because it feels good. I mean, basically, you don't have to follow me. You do anything that feels good, okay? All right. I also want to go around the knuckles because they tend to get a little bit sore. So make sure and maybe you do it in circles so that you make sure you cover the whole area. Good. Keep going with that. You could also use your knuckles in the palm of your hand if you want something a little bit firmer, okay? Where particularly if your thumb's hurting, please don't let your thumb hurt when you do this. If your thumb's hurting, use your knuckles. Then what we're going to do is we're going to strip down between these metacarpals, okay? This is what I would do if I was working on somebody else's hand. I would probably go from the bottom up and then come into this webbing and just give that a little squeeze as well. So, but we can do both ways. Should we do both ways? Why not? Okay, so we're going to go down, and you'll feel that there's a groove. It's a groove between the bones, and your finger and your thumb, I've got my thumb behind, my finger in front, they go naturally in that groove. I'm going to come back up, come into that webbing. We haven't even started talking about reflexology yet, but there's some really good places you're working here. Come into the next one, come down, come up into that webbing. Give that little squeeze. Come to the next one, come down, come up. Give that a little squeeze. And then I'm going to move my hand around so I can get into my thumb area. Coming down there, up, and then squeezing in that webbing. Now I'm going to pay attention to my thumb and each finger. So I'm just going to squeeze around that. And as I squeeze around that, I'm going to pull at the same time. So you get a little bit of traction there. Actually, I'm going to shake mine too. And come off the end of that. I'm going to do that with each of your fingers. So squeeze around. You can go around the knuckle again. That's nice. And as you pull away, you can, why don't you do what I'm doing? A little shake. Feels good. As I say, anything that feels good, do it. And the next one. Squeeze, shake, the ring finger. And you can always go back to this. You can go over and over a different finger if you need to. If any of your fingers hurt, don't do the shaking. That feels good, right? I'm going to work on my wrist now. So the wrist, you want to get your thumb this side of it, your fingers this side of it. You can work with both. So I'm now circling both with my thumb and my fingers. Getting into that wrist. You can also, if you want to, just use a little bit of traction on your wrist if you feel you need that. So can you see what I'm doing? I'm pressing and pushing forward at the same time. And with the cream that's on my hand, it's allowing me to just stretch that out. Feels good. Okay. And let's finish by just coming up your arm. Now I've noticed I've kind of running out here. It's all soaked in. It's probably all the gardening and being in the sun I've done. So I'm just going to add a little bit more there. All right. Now, what I want you to actually do, if you can, because this is something I teach people when I'm teaching massage, just for a moment, close your eyes and feel the difference between your two hands, two arms. Just shut your eyes for a second. And maybe think some words that would describe how the left hand or the right hand, how different they feel. And this is what I mean to you about, being present, being centered, using touch to get present and centered, and how transformative it is. Okay, so we've done this one, and if you're anything like me, this one feels really alive right now and feels good, tingly, lighter. What else can I say? And it feels connected. Okay, that's the other thing I can say. It actually feels connected to the rest of my body. This one feels really flat, like it's not connected in the same way. So now you're just going to do exactly the same thing with the other hand. If you need any reminders, we started with just this lovely draining stroke down to the elbow. You might need to add a bit more cream. Then we went into circling and going deeper into these areas here. And then we did the stripping down and the stripping up and that lovely little finish in the webbing. Then we went on to each finger and did some circling around. What was circling? Squeezing, pulling off. Squeezing and pulling off. That's it. With each finger. And I'm going to leave you to do all of that. I can see that some people have been commenting, and thank you very much. Once I put my glasses on, I'll be able to see what you've said. If you like this, I am doing a 5-day challenge. I've had people helping me with this, and I really want to acknowledge Rosemary, and I really want to acknowledge Lisa at this particular point. Rosemary's really helped to inspire me with this and keep me going with this, and has been my rah-rah cheerleader behind me. So thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Lisa, for all the work you've done in putting that together. So it starts on the 27th of April. You get a free ebook. I'm going to put that in the Winning Women as well today. We had a few technical glitches this morning. I hope this has worked. I'm kind of like, you know what it's like. You kind of, do my eyebrows look good? Well, Leanne's helped with that because I watched her tutorial on eyebrows. Am I showing too much cleavage? All of that kind of stuff. But hey, I got over myself. I did it. Thank you. I hope it's been useful to you. I really do. And I've got loads more where this came from. So if you want to join me, please do. Lots of love to you all. Bye.